Good morning, Pre-K. It's Mrs. B. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2020. And even if you haven't looked out the window yet, if we use our sense of hearing, we can hear the pitter-patter of raindrops, and we can hear the gusts of wind blowing around outside. Today is a rainy, windy day. It's a good day for snacks and jammies and movies and snuggle up nice and cozy with your family. That's what I'm going to do today. I want you to think about one thing. When we measure in school, what tool do we use to measure liquid? We got into this a little bit before we left school. How can we measure how much rain has fallen? So all of us in our classrooms in the math center have a bucket of measuring tools. We have measuring cups, we have measuring spoons, we have rulers, we have those funny little feet that measure up to 12 inches. I want you to think of what you could use to measure how much rain has fallen. What would you use to collect the rain? And what would you use to measure how many inches of rain have fallen? When we measure rain, we measure it in inches. If you watch the meteorologist, he will tell us, we expect 1 to 2 inches of rain today. Maybe that's something that he would say or she would say. So I want you to think about what tools you have to measure the rainfall. And if you have any access to outside, maybe even a little terrace or your front porch or maybe on your windowsill, let's see what you can do to measure the rainfall today. Okay, so since today is April 13th, we're going to go over here. And remember last Monday when we showed different ways that we can make a number. So right here we have 13. In number form, 1 and 3 makes 13. Here we have 13 in word form. T-H-I-R. T-E-E-N. 13. And here, Mrs. B drew 13 little circles so you can see the value of the number 13. Let's count them together. Oopsie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And when you get to 13, you stop. And last week we did 10 frames as well, but we have 13 circles and a 10 frame only has 10 boxes. So I want you to think about which number is bigger, 10 or 13? That's right, 13 is bigger. So we had to make 2 10 frames to fit our 13 circles. So Mrs. B is going to fill in the boxes to show number 13. 2 10 frames makes 20. So we have 20 boxes in total. So together we're going to fill out our 13 boxes to show number 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do I keep going? Yes, because I'm not at 13 yet. 10, 11, 12, 13, and stop. So these 10 frames show us the value of the number 13, but they also tell us something else. So we have 13 boxes filled in, and let's see how many are left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 3 numbers here. 20 boxes, 13 boxes filled in, and 7 left over. That can also tell us that 13 plus 7 equals 20. These 10 frames can also show us that 20 minus 7, the ones that are not filled in, equal 13. The boxes that are filled in. That's a little tricky, but you'll get it. You'll get it with lots of practice. And here we have tally marks. We did this last week too. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one is diagonal to the side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's how we show the number 13 in tally marks. Some of my friends in pre-K 4-5 really love math, so we've been practicing that a little bit as well. And today we're going to have a read aloud. We're going to read Water Up, Down, and All Around. And this book is written by Natalie M. Rosinski. She is the author. Do we know what the author does? Let me see if I can move this camera and maybe get a better view. Okay, the author writes the story. And who draws the pictures? That's right, the illustrator. And for this book, the illustrator is Matthew John. So the title of the book is Water Up, Down, and All Around. And let's begin. I have a touch light, and clearly I keep touching it. Okay. Where do raindrops come from? Plop, plop, splash. Raindrops trickle down your face. Once these raindrops sailed in a cloud. They roared in a river, and they crashed on a seashore. These raindrops have circled the world. And we know that our water gets recycled through all these different places because of the water cycle. The water cycle. We're going to review this as well. Raindrops are made of water that has been used over and over again since the earth began. They are part of the earth's water cycle. The water cycle begins as water flows down from mountain lakes. Water also springs up from deep within the earth. From mountains and springs, water runs into rivers and oceans. And right here it says, fun fact, water covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. So most of our Earth is covered in water. Sunlight heats up nature's water until it evaporates. When water evaporates, it rises into the air. Heat turns water into very tiny drops called water vapor. Water vapor is floating in the air all around you, but you can't see it. Mrs. B knows when the water vapor is in the air and she can't see it because my hair tells me. My hair tells me when there's water in the air. Water vapor cools off as it rises in the air. As water vapor cools, the tiny drops get bigger and bigger. The drops can now be seen as a mist or fog. Watch the clouds sail through the sky. Clouds are also made of water vapor. And right here it says, fun fact, you can see water vapor indoors too. Steam is the vapor that rises when water boils. So if anyone has done the water cycle bag experiment that Miss Garano showed us, I want you to go observe your little plastic bag hanging on your window, and you tell me what has happened to the water in that bag. When clouds brush against cold air, their tiny drops of water vapor get even bigger. The vapor in the clouds condenses and turns into rain. If it's cold enough, the vapor may turn into snowflakes. Water vapor condenses in other places too. In early morning, you might see dew glittering on a lawn or field. Water vapor in the warm air has condensed onto the cold grass. When it's cold outside, frost sparkles on your window. Frost is frozen dew. So if you ever come outside in the morning on your way to school, you get in the car and you might notice that the windshield on the car is covered with a thin layer of mist or fog, and mommy or daddy or grandma or grandpa, anyone who's driving you to school, is going to have to turn on the windshield wipers so you can see out of the window, and that's the mist and the fog. But if it's a cold, cold morning, that mist might even freeze and cause the sparkles on your window, the frozen dew. And where does water go? Snow melts. Dewdrops evaporate into the sky and turn into clouds. Rain flows into streams, rushes into oceans, or sinks silently into the ground. Water gets trapped in mountain ice. How is water used along the way? Deer drink from forest lakes. Fish swim through ocean depths. Corn and wheat grow tall as their roots suck water from the ground. So animals need water to survive, and so do the crops that we're growing outside. Plants need water as well. Here we go again. I need to really get a new light. You need water to live too. Fill up your glass, jump in the pool, rinse your soapy hands. So that's 3 things that people need water for. Fill up your glass. It's very, very important that you stay hydrated and drink a lot of water throughout the day. Jump in the pool. Jumping in a nice cool pool is an awesome way to cool down in the summer and have some fun, and especially right now, rinse your soapy hands. It's super, super important that we're washing our hands thoroughly, and we're washing them many times throughout the day to keep ourselves healthy. Yuck! Water can become too dirty for drinking or swimming. Unhealthy things can wash into water from factories, farms, lawns, and toilets. That is why cities have places to clean the water people drink. So we talked about this in school before we left as well. All water is not safe to drink, even if it may look clean. If you went on vacation to a beautiful tropical island and the water was sparkling blue and crystal clear, would you drink it? No, we cannot drink salt water from the ocean, even though it looks beautiful and it may look safe. It's not. So here we're talking about pollution a little bit. All water is not safe to drink. It has to be filtered first. Round and round we go. Plop, plop, splash. Rain dribbles down your boots. And right here it says, fun fact. Water dribbles inside you too. Your thirsty body is 2/3 water. So just like we read that most of the earth's surface is covered in water, most of your body is made of water. The water cycle begins again. See, we have our body of water. It evaporates, goes into the air, condensation, and then precipitation falls again. And here we have some suggestions for some fun little experiments. If you want to take a look at that. Dry out an apple slice. Did you know that apples are made mostly of water? With an adult's help, cut a slice of apple. Let it sit on a plate for several days and watch what happens to the apple as the water inside evaporates. Make your own dew. On a warm day, add lots of ice to a glass of water. Wait several minutes. See how water vapor in the warm air condenses on the outside of the cold glass. The temperature outside today is pretty chilly, so we might have to wait to do that experiment. Make your own frost. Fill a plastic bowl with hot water and place it in the freezer. Take a glass or metal plate and put it next to the bowl. Close the freezer door and wait a few hours. What has happened to the plate? So we'd love to see your experiments if you choose to do them. And Mrs. Nielsen talked with us about the states of matter. Here we have fast facts: liquid, solid, and gas. Water has 3 forms. It can be a liquid like the wet water you drink. It can be a solid like hard ice cubes, or it can be a gas like the hot steam that rises from a cooking pot. And we know when we see that, if someone's cooking in the kitchen, we stay far, far away. Water changes from a liquid to a solid or a gas at different temperatures. So at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, that is cold, we can get a solid. At 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is very hot, we get gas when water starts to boil. Wonderful water is the only thing in the world that can change naturally into a liquid, a solid, or a gas. Thanks for spending some time with me this morning. We hope everyone has a great day. Send us your pictures and don't forget to sign in, and we will speak to you soon.